my audience. Hi, my name is Jamie Foster, and I'm going to be talking to you guys about President Barack Obama's 2008 speech about race. We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, 221 years ago, in a hall that stands across the street, a group of men gathered, and these words launched America's improbable experiment of democracy. Farmers and scholars, statesmen and patriots who traveled across an ocean to escape a tyranny and persecution finally made real their Declaration of Independence at a Philadelphia convention that lasted through the spring of 1787. The document they produced was eventually signed but ultimately unfinished. It stained this nation's original sin of slavery, a question that divided the colonies and brought the convention to a stalemate until the founders chose to show the slave trade to continue for the last 20 years and to leave any final resolution to the future generations. Of course, the answer to the slavery question was already embedded in our Constitution, a Constitution that at its very core, the idea of equal citizenship under the law, a Constitution that promised its people liberties and justice and union that could be and should be perfected over time. And yet, words on a parchment would not be enough to deliver the slaves from bondage or provide men and women at every color and creed their full rights and obligations as citizens of the United States. What would be needed were Americans in successive generations who were willing to do their part through protests and struggles on the streets and in the courts, through a civil war and civil disobedience, and a great risk to narrow the gap between the promise of idols and reality of their time. What does that speech mean? That speech talks about our country. We should have certain core values. The core values should stem from the Constitution, but we've drifted away from what was written on that paper. The Constitution was written, and then 20 years later, they were still talking about slavery. They were still in it. That just lets you know that the equal rights weren't being upheld. Certain movements, the civil rights movements, leaders, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, they fought for our rights. Yeah, Harriet Tubman. And all of those rights were stemming from the Constitution. The main thing that we face today is discrimination. The 14th Amendment, the 13th Amendment, both talk about our rights being protected. We see today that those rights are being violated with things such as abortions. 41 states have abortion laws, and that is a violation of our rights. It also talks about protecting ones that served in the, for the services. And in 2023, 36,000 veterans were homeless. Those numbers are real. Like, the things that we're going through is real. And to think that so many years ago, people before us came together and created a document that we're supposed to be upholding and we're not even to this day is pretty sad. So even if you can't do something across the world, just try and do something right now, right today, and help America.